So please give a warm welcome, Katy Regan.
Okay, this is called Have You Seen My Daughter? I lit up a Vogue, fastened up my duffel coat, because it was April, but it wasn't half nippy out, and I set off. I'd decided the best thing to do was just work my way around all the places we usually went, me and my Cess. Surely she had to be here somewhere. She was probably sitting outside the Kensington Palace, little monkey, hand deep in a packet of salt and vinegar crisps waiting for me. Or no, she'd probably befriended a tramp and was telling them her life story by now. My name's Cecily. I was named after my dad, Cecil. He died falling down an escalator, you know. My mum saw it and everything. She's like that, my Cess. Talk to anyone. I decided I'd try the laundromat first, because she loves the laundrette, does Cess. She thinks it's ever so cosy. She likes to sit in front of those tumbled dryers with her My Little Pony colouring book, watching the clothes go round and round. I walked through the market towards Tavistock Road. Some of it was shutting up now because it was 4 o'clock, but the air still smelled of the market, of Saturday, of leather and spices and old stuffy clothes, and I thought of the great days we'd had pottering around this market, me and my Cess. The floor was strewn with cardboard boxes, and halfway down there was this huge pile of John Lennon sunglasses. Well, it made me think of the gas chambers then. Maggie says I can be dark like that, morbid, but it did. It made me think of the mountains of glasses and teeth left behind at the gas chambers. And then it made me think of my daughter. Oh God, she could be dead and it would be my fault. Maggie's right, I am morbid, aren't I? I hurried on to the laundromat because a storm was brewing. The sky reminded me of the colour of plum skins, of the bowl of plums in my room. I'd give my Cess some of those when I found her. I'd feed her like only a mother can. I could see Wendy through the back room when I got to the laundrette, but I couldn't see Cecily. I walked right over. I said, "Have you seen my daughter? Have you seen my Cecily?" There was a man in the corner. He was wearing a pair of those John Lennon sunglasses. I could see the tops of them above the newspaper he was reading. It was the Sun, and on the front the headline was, "Maggie dead in bed at Ritz." Well, I thought, if you're going to go, you may as well go in style. I imagined her face down in her afternoon tea in bed. Poor Mags. "Have you seen my daughter?" I said to the man. His John Lennon sunglasses rose then like two suns over his paper. He said, "Sorry, I haven't. What does she look like?" I was getting a bit upset then. I said, "Yay high, beautiful, black hair in 2 plaits. Please," I said, "she's only 10. But the man just went back to his newspaper. There was a lady sitting on the bench. She had feet like Cornish pasties and eye bags like dead mice. She said, "Have you lost your daughter? Would you like some help, dear?" She had a really posh accent, even though she looked rough as, and I didn't trust her for 1 second. "Don't worry," I said. Then I got out of there as fast as I could. The sky was darkening now, this big belly of grey sky sagging down on me. I walked on to the book and kitchen because if she was going to be anywhere else, she was going to be there. She was probably curled up with a book of poetry, little monkey, because she loves poetry. She writes me beautiful poems all the time, even though I don't deserve it. The rain had started now. At the bottom of the road I could just make out a group of coppers in high-vis jackets, and I hoped to God they were part of the search party. I felt immediately better when I got to the book and kitchen because I knew Moona would be looking after Cecily, feeding her muffins until her mummy turns up. But Moona was standing behind the counter. Her face told me everything. "She's not here, Grace," she said. Then she came around the side of the counter and she hugged me. "I'm sorry, but she's not here." I was crying now, my tears splashing onto Moona's apron like the rain outside. Well, she fed me muffins then. Moona is such a caring person. And then, because I was there anyway, I had to have a fix of my favourite book in there, which is a Cindy Sherman book of photography. Cindy's my idol, and actually it was her who gave me the idea of where to look next, because I just so happened to open the book at a photograph of her next to a flower stall. And I thought, that's it. She'll be down the flower corner, because we know Jane in there, me and Cecily. She'll feel safe there until I turn up. "Please tell me Cecily's with you," I said when I got there. "She's not, Grace," Jane said. "Let me make you a cup of tea though, because you're absolutely soaking wet." I was glad of that cup of tea then, because it was freezing in the flower corner. Jane told me it was because they had to have the fridges on to keep the flowers cool, but there was this blue light from outside, seeping under the thick plastic curtains, and it made it feel like a morgue in there, and I couldn't help but think of my Cess lying dead somewhere. I couldn't help thinking the worst. The cards for sale with sympathy and in loving memory didn't help, and Jane just so happened to be arranging flowers for a funeral. "They'll be for Maggie's, will it?" I said. "I heard she died in bed at the Ritz." "Oh, did she?" said Jane, sticking another lily in. "I haven't heard that about that, Grace." "Did you know Maggie?" I said. "She was a lovely woman." Jane laughed. "Not personally," she said, "and I wouldn't bloody want to either. But you get her sorts in here all the time, ordering their weekly vase arrangements, the sorts to be sitting at home having their feet rubbed by Filipino maids." Then she suddenly leant over. "Why are you wearing your slippers, Grace?" she said. "In this weather, you must be mad." I looked down. She was right as well. I was wearing my slippers. I said, "I've no idea." And we laughed, and I felt a bit better then. Adele was singing on the radio about how sometimes it lasts in loves and sometimes it hurts instead. And I thought, you're dead right there, Adele. But I still need to find my Cess. I was still really determined. So I nipped across the road to the library, because if she wasn't in the book and kitchen, she'd be in there, head buried in a poetry book, little monkey. "Have you seen my daughter?" I said to the woman behind the counter. But she looked at me like I'd asked if she'd seen Michael Jackson. Well, I got angry then. I'm not ashamed to say I raised my voice. I shouted, "Have you seen my daughter? Cecily, anyone? She's only 10. I sat down at the table in there, and that's when I saw him. He had some nerve, just sitting there in his red puffer, typing out his code on his laptop. Code to the lock to the place, holding my Cess. He must think I was born yesterday. Well, I was very sensible then. I didn't say anything. I just noted down his appearance, green cap, red puffer, and I ran down that hill up to the police station. But there was a queue. A girl had lost her iPhone. "Your iPhone," I said. "I've lost my daughter." The copper on the front desk led me straight through then. The name on his badge was Constable Peach. I said, "I'll tell you something, Constable Peach. I've just seen him in the library. If you go there now, you'll catch him red-handed." But Constable Peach wasn't interested in catching anyone. He just wanted to ask me questions about my health. "Never mind about my health," I shouted. "My Cecily's out there. She needs her mum." But then my Cecily walked in, straight into that police station. "There you are, darling," I said. "I've been looking for you everywhere. I've been worried sick. I'm so worried. I'm so sorry Mummy wasn't there when you needed me." I was crying and she hugged me then. "It's all right," she said, "Mum. It's all right." She'd had all her hair cut off. She looked so grown up. "Come on, let's get you back. Maggie's worried sick about you. They've had a search party out and everything."
Katy Regan.